Son of a duck. Frickin', look at. We got a lot of work today, guys, converting an old farm site filled with buried debris into a manicured yard, but it doesn't go without its problems.
She come out of break of night, and the pink skies waving goodbye.
All right, good morning, guys. What is this, day 3? I don't know. It is whatever. We can lose track. We got rid of the old falling down retaining walls, but now we've got a sheer bank that we've got to do something about. We import a non-organic structural fill soil high with the clay binder, which will allow us to shape and form the bank. Now, if you look at my hands on the sticks, the left hand is controlling the movement of the machine, and I grab that from the top down. But the right hand controls the bucket and boom arm controls, and I'll typically grab that from the bottom up because it just gives me a tiny bit more precision. As I'm creating the slope, I'm working it from all angles, but the most important one of all is the side to side. As I'm working the slope, if I'm not comfortable in a track skid loader side to side, my customer's not going to be comfortable on a lawn tractor. Not done with the demolition on this job though. We still have the fence line from around the pasture that has to be removed. Sometimes it's easier to bring the truck to the material than the material to the truck. This job site's the first time that Alex has ever loaded a dump truck with demolition debris. So I'm going to do something that I've done with other people to help them get familiar with the ins and outs of loading trucks. Hey Alex, would you run with John on this load? Yeah. What I'd like you to do is, as he's dumping, step out, get behind the truck and just watch how the load comes out. Because that'll help you, from after you see it actually come out, it'll be like this weird aha moment where you're like, now you kind of start to know how to load a little bit better. It's weird, but you got to see a load come out, and then all of a sudden you're like, you just become a better loader. Watching this load come out is just so cool. So next up, we gotta take out this top ridge. This is right where the original barn was removed, which shouldn't be a problem because everything was supposed to be hauled off site. foundation of the old barn was a mixture of concrete, boulders, rebar, and a whole bunch of other stuff. When I was putting in my quote to remove the barn, I really wanted to save this wood, so I took a few pics. Here's what's buried down there that I thought was gone.
Hey, I think we might have figured out why we didn't get the barn demo out on this site.
Come on.
Go look over here. So we bid it to haul everything out, and it looks like it was left.
There's a lot of changes in the grade and angles on this site, and I really want to get smooth transitions. But what I'm finding is every time I shave off one ridge, I'm hitting a rock or a chunk of concrete or rebar or the foundation of a building or something else, grandma's wheelchair, I don't know. It's down there, it's buried, it wasn't hauled away. To work on the lower pasture, I put on the SR3 grading range. Now the edges of this pasture are thick with topsoil, and my idea is to widen out and give my customer more usable space. I'm going to take those edges down and bring them into the center. That will also let me import less black dirt to top dress this area.
I mean, if you look at this, man, we still got dirt we can use. We still got. Look at how it's not. We got a hump right here. Up. You can see it. So if we level this out.
Let me know if you guys can count how many rocks pop up in this next sequence. Every time I find a rock, I put it on the upper tines of the front rakers and throw it over the edge.
Ya perdí la cuenta de las veces que salí a buscarla y se esfumó. La busqué en los escenarios grandes, en los viejos discos de hip hop.
Everything goes fine until I try to take out that weird ridge Tim and I were talking about earlier.
Son of a duck. Broke my tooth. Freaking, look at, snapped it right off. How much crap can they bury? Look at this. That was supposed to have been hauled away is my understanding. I got the tooth.
I start to pull up chunks of concrete and I realize pretty fast I've got to change my plan or I'm going to completely destroy this SR3.
That don't look like a rock. Looks like somebody's buried a building instead of hauled a building out.
I can't afford to break the ASB off from grading, so I send Alex to get the Volvo.
I just have you root. Just root through here because I'm going to bust up my SR3 trying to pull a foundation out with it. I mean, look at this. That's a brick.
The plan is to divide and conquer. I'm going to keep grading the lower pasture while Alex focuses on finding what all is buried underneath the ground. But we've got to get the beak hooked up to do it. The Volvo with those solid tires is one rough ride, but let's just show you. this point, I have no clue what this is that he's hitting, but you can start to see the pile of debris right next to me as it grows. While Alex is looking for buried treasure, I'm going to start grading out the site and try to help him out by smoothing out his work area a little bit.
Still remember, cannot forget the flower in your hair. Looking forward, listen to my heart. Listen and shed a tear. Waiting for you long time, baby. Was so hard for me to do. You said me and you forever will be one, but now you're gone. And I still remember, cannot forget the brightness.
We've imported 4 loads of pulverized screen black dirt, and as I spread it across the site, I don't want it layered. I actually want it tilled into the subsoil.
Into your eyes, the whisper in my ear, waiting for you long time, baby, was so hard for me to do. You said me and you forever will be one, but now you're gone.
But we've still got a debris pile to get rid of, and it's continuing to grow. There's an area on site where it looks like the water will be concentrating, so we give the customer an option. We can either haul all of this material away, or we can bury it and compact it in that one area. I don't usually like to bury this stuff, but we might as well put it to good use. Even though the control pattern for the ASV and the Volvo are the same, the two machines don't handle anything alike. Where the ASV is smooth as butter, the Volvo is a lot more unforgiving. And so I make sure to stay as far away from that edge as possible, and I'll finish pushing it over with the ASV.
So this machine takes you for a ride. That machine you become part of. It's a completely different feel.
And it doesn't take me very long to hop back in my ASV and leave the Volvo to Alex. So he carries the material down while I push it over the edge. The customer wants to convert a section of the asphalt driveway that used to service the barn into a usable yard space. And so that gets saw cut and then removed.
Dream big, 'cause boy, you're gonna make it. Stand tall, there's a higher road to take in. Let go of everything that you know and be wild in the mystery. Yeah. I've been in the darkness for 40 days.
John wants to try out the power broom, and I'm all for keeping my sites clean, so I tell him to go for it.
I've been searching for holy flames, a sign to light up the way. So can you help me out? Can you help me out?
The customer asked us to work in a new area of the project where they don't know what's buried down there.
I've been more certain of truth before. I've been called a righteous man before.
So how's that going, Alex?
Not good. I got no traction. Pretty kind of like soft too. So the second I drove in here, instantly yeah.
Just forget it. I'll come in here, I'll whip this out.
I mean, I got most of it collected right there. All it needs is a quick, load that last little bit up because there's some in there.
Okay.
There is some.
And I broke the SR3 a second time on more buried debris.
More hidden treasures. What'd you find?
How did you find that?
Oh yeah, they're all over in here.
We get pretty heavy rains over the weekend, which marks the start of a new day.
This is muddy.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah, we got like 3 days of rain coming after this.
That's what they're saying.
Torrential
We
rain.
got tropical storm. It's like the perfect storm, the movie where the low fronts are combining and you got stuff coming up. The little hurricane they're having is coming up. We're gonna get all that water. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, what the deer tracks? Unless that's not, I don't know.
No, it's deer tracks. It's just I'm looking at how wet it is. And I'm worried I'm not gonna...
I think they might have got stuff when they were walking over here.
I just don't know how I'm gonna be able to
Well,
do it.
Stan, I had a really nice weekend, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask. How was your weekend, Tim? Was it actually good? We didn't technically talk. We've just been working.
This is our rock picker attachment for the skid loader. His name is Colton. He's 14 years old and my son and needs to learn how to work. So even with my son's picking rock, he can't keep up. So at the end of the day, we call for some backup because we're trying to get this job wrapped up before the storms come in.
I think we could stay out here all day long and not pick every rock that we find. How'd it go mowing today, you guys?
The Hydra Bucket does a great job of scarifying just deep enough to create a seed bed without starting to bring up any of that buried rocks and debris.
It leaves it perfect for seed. Okay, so here it is after we got the final finish grade done on it.
When I wake up in the morning, drinking coffee.
Next up is seeding and straw blanket.
Trees are dancing to the whistle of the wind. Lord, I'm thankful for everything.
We'll do one more on the bottom row of that pass, Frankie.
Straw blanket serves two purposes. One, it helps germinate and preserve the seeds. Number two, it helps prevent washout and erosion. So we always run them the same way that the slopes run.
Well, what Jake is putting in, let me show you. Sod staples.
These go in every 2 to 3 feet on center. With the seed and the blanket down, the next step is time. We're gonna let Mother Nature take it from here. And that's what we've got for you on this one, but we've got a really cool project coming up. So you guys hit that subscribe button and do me a favor and let me know what you think of these job site videos. Do you like this format? Do you like this style? Because if you do, I'll continue to make them like this. God bless you guys. Go get them and have an awesome week.
Thankful every day.